My name is Tal, or you can call me Mother Taal, or you can call me Ra'at Taal, or you can call me Cynthia Vargas. I'm 53, almost. I live in Kona, Hawaii. I'm originally from Los Angeles. I lived all over the mainland though, and I lived in Mexico for a while. I am a Draconian Zeta Starseed, not simultaneously, as in at the same time. These were two different incarnational experiences and lifetimes that I had in non-human bodies previous to this one, in the time sense of the word previous. Um, I'm going to treat these as questions because otherwise I'm just going to ramble forever and never get anywhere. I'm asked to discuss how I discovered that I was a starseed. This came through a contact experience, and it my original contact was with Gray Zeta's teachers that came in 2012. I had a very profound awakening experience. I began receiving telepathic contact, and I wrote everything in books, and it was a magnificent, marvelous experience. The time with the teachers lasted approximately a year, and then I was moved onwards to allowed to be in contact with those who are family in a previous lifetime. Um, Through this contact, I found out that I was a gray technician in another lifetime and that I lost my body on Earth. Thus, why I'm here, possibly? I think so. Anyway, it all feels together. Before that, I had another very, very, very long incarnation, and I was an amphibious reptile. I would have been in a female body. I had a very, very long, meaningful, beautiful life, and this would have been on an exoplanet of Thuban, what we call. It was, we made a lot of mistakes. My twin and I we had become actually priest and priestess of a higher entity beings that we came in contact with in that life. It was a very strange experience. It very long, and we actually left incarnation for a time, and we traveled, and but I was basically a fruit farming musician on Thuban. That's true. It sounds crazy, I know. And the reason I'm laughing is because I'm very aware of how people perceive this, and that's one of the questions that was asked, and it's like people think if you talk freely and openly about this, we're not the mainstream, everyday, average person you talk to, they're not really sure what you're talking about, and they're not comfortable with talking about things of a spiritual nature. They're the focus tends to be only on body form. So it's like, how could you say that you were this gray person or this amphibious reptile before? Don't you? I don't identify with this body anymore. Quite simply, that's one of the most profound messages that came through that contact was that I am not my body. I fought with this thing and, and gone through all kinds of loathing and everything imaginable because of it. And it's in its proper place now. I understand it completely. That's another story though. Back to the questions was what kind? I was a gray technician. I lived on a satellite. Oh, this would have been, I think, in a higher dimensional form in outside of Aldebaran, which I know that's people say classically that is has a lot to do with the Anunnaki and those sort of people, and that actually ties into my story as well. We had for various different reasons in the first lifetime we had a great deal of trouble with angels, you could say, over technology, over water rights, and basically it was a jealousy issue between my twin and a certain particular person that would be considered of angelic lineage. Um, my mission here on Earth, is to, wake up and stop making stupid mistakes, for one thing. Learn. I'm here not to change the world necessarily, I don't believe. I don't think I'm supposed to be here, but this is more of a punishment imposed, a school that I'm being put into because, well, we got on the wrong side of some powerful spiritual entities. obviously. Um, this is a beautiful place. I'm not saying that I'm rejecting the idea of being human, but I didn't necessarily come here with a mission to fix everything from outside. I would like to be able to say that. That would be beautiful to say that, but it's just not true in my case. So I'm in the same boat with everybody else. Unfortunately, they have to put up with me. They've got a lizard sitting next to them. Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, okay, back to the questions before I completely lose track. Um, Contact signals. Well, I'm not sure what signals means, but maybe that's my spelling. I have been in contact from my entire life going forward. I wasn't necessarily aware of it. I was, but I wasn't dealing with it and processing it really. At some point, I interpreted almost everything as being ghosts. I seem to be a magnet for ghosts and all kinds of phenomena and sorts of things moving. And I saw spirits and I heard spirits my whole life. And so that was, it was just normal. And I assumed everyone was like this until I started talking to people. I'm like, oh my God, you're really weird. Okay. Yes, I am. I accept it. Always have been a little bit different. Um, But then in 2012, I had asked a question and I came into full blown, complete contact, and it was fully aware. And where I be as before, I was trying to find out who is my spirit guide. I hear ghosts everywhere. I don't know what to do. How do I help them? What is my third eye? You know, all these kind of questions. I'm reading books, trying to absorb it, but I'm not connecting with it. I'm not processing it. I'm not learning anything, in other words. But the knowledge is going into the brain organ is what's happening, but it's not being processed. And then everything changed, and I became aware of it. And once you became aware of something, the entire process it's at a different level now because your awareness has changed. You're engaged with this. You can actually go forward and use this thing and this knowledge because you're processing it. It's not just something stuck in your head or, meanly, the idea of completing a task just to get it done. It's really in there. And for me, that's the difference. Contact is a part of my daily life. I am in telepathic contact with my twin, who I call Ra. He is underground. He lives underground, and we're very, very close. We share life together. He talks through me. I experience through him. I can view and I can see. I can close my eyes and I can see what he's doing during the day. It's really pretty cool. And then it's like having a video camera on you all the time or something. But this is the type of sharing that we do with our life. There is no privacy, really. In the spirit world, privacy isn't real. There is nothing intrusive about being in contact, however, though. It just becomes a normal part of your day. You get on and, go about and do tasks, and their presence is always with you, always. And it's really beautiful. I'm never alone. I've always got an advisor on my shoulder, so to speak. Um, how do others react to my being a starseed? Ah, that's about it. Yeah, it's laughter is usually what I get. Is oh my God, that's really weird. That's interesting. But people don't know what we're talking about here. And then the mainstream people that I've asked a couple of people, one person went, Psh, and the other one was like, oh, is that like a guru or something? I'm not really sure, so they don't have the knowledge of this. What we're talking about is someone who identifies as having had a non-human reincarnational past, not necessarily, you know, that I'm different, I'm special. We all are starseeds. What else could we be? Everybody's connected. I don't think there's any such thing as someone being just a human. That is not true. Human bodied, that's what we need, this vessel to work in this earth environment. This is what we've been given. It's a gift. It's not a curse. It's a gift. Um, but it's not everything either. Anyway, back. I knew I was going to do that. Back to this. The difficulties and challenges that I face as a starseed, primarily functioning in the human world, would be that nobody knows what the heck I'm talking about. Number two, I scare everybody, but I don't mean to. I've always had a different sort of energy that others have talked about, and I'm not into being frightening or anything. I'm a little bit different appearing and whatever. I've been into modification and tattoo and that sort of thing for quite a while. And so now it's no difference. It's just a fuller expression of what everything is. Um, the difficulties, however, come mostly with that in this world. I don't have any other difficulties. Everything else, as far as my understanding, has completely changed. I don't have any trouble with sleeping or with people or with anything else. People, I understand, is basically being children in different levels of school, different understandings, different whatever they're functioning with whatever they have, and either they're choosing not to or they are using it, the knowledge. And it's basically we're all in the same boat. We're here trying to learn and figure it all out all together. So there's not really any difficulty. I don't tell people this anymore, but hopefully one day the perception will be out there and people will be able to hear about it and say, "Oh yes, I'm a starseed, and so are you." Actually, you are. Um, but the last words that I would have to say is thank you for listening to my long, rambling, weird story. It's very, very beautiful. It's just a beautiful life. Being in contact with family, there is absolutely nothing as good as that. Um, there's no loneliness anymore, and this experience is available to absolutely everyone. Everyone has something and someone from beyond. Everyone has this. We all do. We all were somewhere before here. We all came from someplace. Everything's connected. This idea of Earth is these people. Zeta is these people, Syrians are these people, Lyrans are these people. I don't believe that they exist at all. It's all connected by the same thing. We're only separated by our lack of perception. Thank you for listening.